Hi, we're back with another live stream, and it's about the Coolify again, right? I must admit that I completely underestimated the amount of interest that this thing has for the first video, and the comments that came in over the past week has been quite enlightening. I mean, it's really cool. I do like all the comments that come in because from time to time, sometimes we don't really understand, right, what's interesting to our readers. You know, you guys might want to see something that we might not think is that interesting, and sometimes we do things on certain products that we think are great, but nobody really cares about. But hey, Taurus Coolify, right? But most of these comments came from YouTube, by the way. And just to clarify things a bit, like these kind of live streams that I do, they're mostly on Facebook first, because that's where Hardware Zone interacts with social media or social leadership. And once it's done, most of these things then are posted on YouTube. So anyway, comments came in a lot from Coolify. People asking me to do it outdoors because I was sitting indoors and it wasn't representative of what the product can do. So, hey, so this is for you, right? But let's walk a bit. Okay, here we are. Now, before we start, check that out. It's in the middle of the afternoon. It's very, very hot. And I'm actually going to go indoors again. But check that out. I've managed to find myself a place that is completely empty, no air conditioning, no fans, no power. This is as stuffy, as hot, and as humid as you can imagine in Singapore. Oops. So, Taurus Coolify, let's get through this, okay? Second time, it's the charm. Now you see, the thing about live streams is sometimes I don't really think this through, because now I have this very nice place to talk about it, and I realize that there's no furniture, so there's no place for me to actually sit down. Anyway, let's lean against the wall. Okay, let's talk about the product. Taurus Coolify. 3 fan modes. The first speed is a nice cooling breeze. The noise isn't very loud. It's just a kind of, I don't know, for me it's like a soothing word. Actually outdoors while I was walking up the stairs just now, I don't hear it at all. Now that I'm indoors, I kind of hear it. The second and third speeds are very, very loud, but the air is also very strong. You can hear it now. That's speed number 2. Speed number 3. Now if you have headphones or earphones or earbuds, they do help to block out the noise of the fan, especially if you have ANC. But I kind of find that if you do that, it blocks out the sound of the fan, the whirling sound, that drone, but it kind of amplifies the wind noise by that. You sort of hear that. So if you're listening to music, that goes away, that's fine. Now, here's the thing. The Taurus Coolify also has that Peltier cooler at the back, which is this metal sort of bar. Now that, when I tried that in the first video, it sort of gave me goosebumps in the office because the air conditioning was so cold and it was like an ice block on the back of my neck. Outdoors or in this kind of heat, in this kind of weather, you don't actually feel that sort of ice coldness, but it does work. Now here's the thing, there are a few buts to this. Number 1, the fan works all the way until the battery runs out. The Peltier cooler shuts off by itself after 30 minutes. You can turn it on again if you want to, but just know that it auto shuts off after 30 minutes. Right? But it does work. The only thing is, if you've ever sat down on like a cold bench early in the morning or at night, and you feel that sort of cold initial shock, that wears away after like 10 to 20 seconds. It's not because that this no longer works. It actually works very well. It's actually cold. But the back of your skin, the back of your neck, where it touches, basically it lowers the temperature enough that it's the same temperature as the Peltier block. So your skin kind of feels cold, and because of that, you don't actually feel it being cold anymore. So it doesn't mean that it doesn't work, it's just that your skin has cooled down to the temperature where you don't really feel it working. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Does this thing work? Well, yeah, the fan works, the Peltier block works. It is cooling in that sense, but that's not going to stop you from sweating in this kind of weather. Now, me just walking up the stairs just now, my neck is pretty cool. Right? This is where the fans are, the vents are. There's some that blows up, there's some that blows down into my collarbone. And the back of my neck is really cool. If I touch it, it's kind of ice cold. That works. But that doesn't stop my chest from sweating. My armpits are sweating now as I'm standing here in this stuffy room. And the back of my legs are kind of also sweating. So if you think this is going to help you not sweat at all when you're outdoors in Singapore weather, it's not going to do that. Well, your hair gets sucked into the fan, your hair so long, the fan blows, the fan doesn't suck. But there is a vent here, there's an input vent. My hair is too short to get stuck though. So, I don't know. Probably not. Right, where was I? This is not going to work for you outdoors. Well, it kind of will work for you outdoors. It will keep your neck cool, but not your entire body. It's really no different than holding one of those USB fans that you have, except that it's on your neck. And it has you have like an ice block at the back of your neck that doesn't melt into water all over your body. So that's nice. Now, why am I indoors is because I actually do have use cases for this thing indoors instead of out. Now, everyone wanted me to do this outdoors, but I actually think that this works better indoors. I actually have used this indoors quite a bit over the past week. If you've ever had to look for stuff in a storeroom, right? If you ever had to go into an enclosed place, a stuffy storeroom, and you don't want to drag a fan with you and plug it in and pull an extension cord, this works great. You know, for that 10 minutes you're looking for something, this helps you keep cool, and that works really well. If you ever have a power outage and you don't actually have a fan anymore or air conditioning, like where I am now with no power, this actually works very well. It's keeping me cool enough that I don't feel like I'm going to melt, even in this weather. But now you're going to say, of course, how many times do you get a power outage in Singapore? And that's true, but you know, there are other countries that these are so that they can happen. But the number one reason why I use this at home, ta-da, is in the bathroom. Yes, when you're doing your business, right? Not everybody's bathroom is the Ritz-Carlton. You don't have air conditioning in your bathroom. Not everybody's bathroom has ventilations or fans. This works really well. I don't know what you do. Most people spend a lot of time in their bathroom these days, reading news, watching videos like this, doing your dailies on Genshin Impact, I don't know. But this really, really works well in the bath. And as a secondary effect, this fan creates kind of an air cushion. It comes with the smell too. Yeah. So for me, the Taurus Coolify is actually something that works a lot better indoors as kind of like personal cooling or spot cooling when you don't want to drag the fan around and you just want to cool yourself for 10-15 minutes at a time. This works really well. Personally, I wouldn't bring this outside, not because I don't think it works outside. I mean, it's a fan, it works. It's just that I don't want to have another thing that I have to carry around outdoors where it's already hot and sweaty. Oh, I forgot about one thing. This Peltier cooler turns off after 30 minutes automatically. I think I did mention that, but you have to remember that if you actually wear this outdoors, because once it turns off, your back of your neck no longer stays cold and you might start to sweat, and that isn't a great feeling. So anyway, yes, that's as proper a review as you get for the Taurus Coolify. Right? And what Zach thinks about it, it's more useful indoors than out. So yeah, keep the comments coming. We do like them, we do read all of them, and we'll try to get you better content. See ya. Okay, now this won't turn off.